Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Baking Dairy Bread. So is one allowed to go ahead and make dairy bread? And the answer is no. The rabbis made a gezerah from the Gemara Pesachim and Shulchan Aruch Yordei Tzadi Zayin, where it writes clearly one cannot make dairy bread with dairy ingredients in it. And the reason is simple. Bread is the staple food. It was in the Gemara's times, and it is till this very day for many, many people in the world. And when you have dairy bread, you don't know it's dairy. You end up having meat with it. I mean, but clearly, it must have been about 40 years ago in Bell Harbor. We're having a great barbecue back in Bell Harbor on our porch. And all of a sudden, someone read the ingredients of the bread, some kind of an English muffin, and said, wow, this tastes really good. And sure enough, it had dairy in it. So that was the problem. We're having basar b'chalav, meat and dairy. Tasty, but not kosher. And good question, how the English muffins even had an hashgacha. How do they go ahead and give hashgacha to dairy bread? So one possibility would be the following. So the gezerah is, the rabbi said you cannot make dairy bread, because you can end up eating it with meat. And the Aruch HaShulchan says so too. You cannot make meat bread with grease, meat grease in it, because you can end up eating it with dairy. And if you violate the gezerah, the food is also the dairy bread even by itself is asur, and the meat bread even by itself is asur, even though it's kosher ingredients. The rabbis were very serious with this stringency, because it's such a common thing to have bread in the meal. They just wanted to keep it pure pareve bread. However, there are some exceptions the rabbis made. If it is a different looking kind of bread where everyone knows, oh, that's not regular bread. Maybe that was the hashgacha's consideration when they gave English muffins 40 years ago, hashgacha, even though it was dairy. Maybe they said, oh, it's not regular bread. And everyone hopefully will know that English muffins are dairy. Maybe that was the svar. So if it looks different, if you bake it and it doesn't look like the regular bread, then there would be a reminder for you, oh, this is dairy bread. Don't mix it with the hamburgers. That's one heter. Another permit brought down is if it's made small. You're just going to have it in a meal or two. It's not going to be sitting around. When you made it, I'm going to have a chakras in the morning meal. I have it in the afternoon meal, and then that's it. As opposed to just sitting around for a couple of days, that's when you forget. But if you made it knowing that I'm making it just for this meal, it's a small amount, or 2 meals, or says maybe a day, so then that the gezerah, the decree doesn't apply in such a situation. So therefore, the poskim mentioned, Ramah says that that's why we make dairy bread for Shavuot. How do you do that? The time they're accepting the Torah, we're violating your rabbinic principle. No, because they make it the dairy bread for one meal, for the dairy meal at Shavuot, and that's it. So you don't have the fear it's going to go ahead and be mixed up. So in some, it's a rabbinic gezerah. The rabbis are so stringent that they said not only should you not bake bread, but if you did bake such bread, dairy bread or meat bread, it is prohibited. The exception is if it's made different, looks different, it looks like you could see the cheese baked into the bread. You see the meat baked into the bread, then it's fine. Or if it's made just a small amount just for that meal or two. And the other heter is if it's very sweet tasting bread. So it's a dessert food that's not normally eaten. So then you make a cupcake for dessert with dairy in it. Well, that's not eaten with the main part of the meal. It's not going to be eaten with meat anyway. It's a dessert food, so the poskim are lenient with that as well. Shalom.